Hello, I'm Frank Pucelik. I'm going to be the trainer in the Training for Trainers program that's coming up sometime soon. Today I would like to talk with you about something very, very, very important for a trainer. Actually for anybody, but especially for a trainer. It's called observation. Observation skills. There's three rules for the effectiveness of a professional communicator. They are observe, observe, observe. Everything you do, every skill you use, as a trainer, as a consultant, as a psychologist, as a parent, as a husband, wife, every single thing you do, the effectiveness of that behavior depends upon your observation skills. Sometimes you don't even notice what a good observer you are. My guess is that most of you know when you walk in the room with your husband or wife or your children, that very quickly you know what their mood is, what their feelings are, you know whether you can talk to them and not talk to them, you know whether they're comfortable, not comfortable. Why? Because you observe sometimes the observations are very easy. When there's objects flying through the air at you, you have a pretty good idea that something is not right. Sometimes it's very subtle. Sometimes it's a look on their face. Sometimes it's a posture that when you walk in the room they turn away, or sometimes when you look at their face you see a slight drop on their face, on their mouth or something. But what happens inside of you is you react. You because of many hundreds of hours of experience with that person, you react like, oh, I know what to do. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. With loved ones and children and parents, those become automatic. Okay, that's great, and it's also dangerous because what happens is, for a lot of people, is they get into another group of people and they see a similar facial expression on somebody's face in a group, for example, and bing, what happens? Inside of them, they react as if, oh, something's wrong, or oh, they're mad, or oh, and we call those hallucinations in the NLP world. Observations. If a professional communicator, especially a trainer, we must take back our ability to be consciously aware of the observations and the decisions we make because of those observations. Because most of us, over the period of growing up and in our young adulthood, we lose the ability to understand and control our observations. We become automatic. We become robots. This means this. This means this. This means this. And we react to the world around us from those judgments. Now, that judgment that I'm using with this 45-year-old person in a group may well come from an observation that I made as a child, 3 and 4 years old, with my mother, because before my mother told me something was wrong, she had a certain expression on her face. So, over years and years and years and years, what happened is I see the expression, I don't consciously understand that I've seen the expression, but I have a reaction to that expression, and that feeling is what I learned to do with my mom. Okay? Well, that doesn't work very well with the 45-year-old in the front row, or the 55-year-old in the second row, or. Now, that's happening hundreds of times a minute for most people. Maybe hundreds of times every 2 or 3 minutes, but still, often. Now, as a professional observer, as a skilled observer, it becomes incredibly important for me to know what I'm observing, how I am reacting or not reacting to that observation, and what I should do or not do with that sensation of my own or with that observation. Now, put 50 people in front of you, put 200 people in front of you, and you have all of these faces and all of these postures and all of these gestures and movements and somebody with their head back and somebody sleeping and somebody, bored, and somebody, and you've got all of these expressions. All of these reactions and multiplied by the number of people you have in a group. Now, I'm standing in front of a group, and I need to understand how I am reacting to all of this feedback. I have an idea that I use when I do a group. And the idea is that everybody is always communicating. That the conversation is always two ways, no matter who's talking. That there is a nonverbal conversation coming at me from everybody. And that's part of the interaction. We're all talking. Now, sometimes they talk and I react. And I show them expressions with my face. Somebody in the group says something that's really good. And I've seen, terrible. I've seen trainers who ask questions and then don't really care what the answers are and don't react to the answers. So you ask a person, can somebody tell me what it means to do this? And somebody answers a question. And the trainer stands there like they're dead. And they observe, right? And they go, thank you. And can anybody do this? And I watch that and I just go, oh my God, that's just terrible. Because when a person stands up in a group and is talking, they're observing you. And everybody is observing you. So you're now the one being observed. You're always being observed, but even more intensely. So when the person is talking, I react. And I give them nonverbal feedback the same as they're giving me all the time, which lets them know that I like them, that they're right, that what they said is really good, and so that creates a connection between us and a whole lot of other people. And it starts to let people in the audience know that they can be comfortable stepping up. So, what am I observing? I'm seeing a frown here, I'm seeing a person not understand here. So I'm talking, and I see a person over here do this. Okay, now what do I know? Okay, I know that there's something they don't understand. Okay, so and I observe that, and what it is I don't know. Maybe I see somebody do something like this, like. Okay, now they had some reaction, and I could call it a negative reaction, and it might be. Okay, but I don't know what it is a negative reaction to. Now, what a lot of people do, a lot of trainers do, is they see that and they assume that it is a negative reaction to them. And they react like they try to defend, or they try to repeat, or they try to get that person to change their face, right? No, I don't know what that's about. But I do notice it. So I don't take the step of I know what the meaning is. I observe and I want to find out. So I might say to the group at that point when I see this calibration, that I might say something like, for some people, this reminds them of things that weren't very comfortable. Is that true for anybody? And I see the person who had the negative expression do this. And I say, oh, you know, right? So I look at them and I say, so that makes sense for you, right? Is he the only one? I feel the same, by the way. So we're the same. Is anybody else? And you'll see 6, 8, 10 hands go up. Yeah. I had an uncomfortable reaction to that idea too. And I say, well, great, because that's the kind of observation that helps me make the group better, that helps people understand better. Every person in a group is talking to you, just not with their mouth. So what are they saying? What are they helping you with? What are they talking about? And how can you, as a trainer, can stand in front of all these people and create a connection with all of these people because of your ability to observe? Okay? What are the 3 main rules of a professional communicator? Observe, observe, observe. Every skill that exists is worthless if it's not used at the right moment. And what does that mean? Your ability to observe. It's a pleasure being with you guys. I hope this is a good bit of insight for you, and I very much appreciate the opportunity to spend this time with you. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Training for Trainers. Thank you very much.